energy, so much just,
Ex-
yeah.
exuberance.
Well, it wakes up. It just wakes things up. We talk about the data, we talk about why, and now we're talking about how, right?
Yeah.
Let's kind of, and some of the things that I want to focus on too are the positive things that we got cleaner earth, and we've got, murders are down. David reminded me that unfortunately, domestic violence, the fatality rate has risen. I had a friend of a friend who was killed recently, um, because you can't get out of the home right now, right? And many of the people had ways, but you know what? Call people. This is actually my background. So if you email us on go live at ibm.tv and tell me you have a situation, I'll figure a way. I'll I'll figure a way. I can't promise to save you, but I can definitely help you out. But don't be alone. Please don't feel like you have no other place to turn. There's just too many other things out here. People like Mina. We have various women. Why is it always the women? Well, we got one guy, right? But most of the women are the ones who go, let me come and bring the spiritual and help with the spiritual and pray and faith and everything. But hey, we need it. And don't say it's not for me. Rakesh, you and I are very similar, except I talk more than you do. But that's forced habit from Nick. Trust me, I didn't talk this much before I met Nick. But you shared something about not just being one religion, right? That you probably grew up one particular way, but I'm the same way. I believe in that there's something there. I have my faith and that there's something greater, but I don't believe in one religion. I believe in all. And that's something that getting to know each people that have been on our show, that everyone has a religion of some kind, and for the most part they all believe in the good things, right? You respect people, you honor your parents, you respect your body, your health, you respect earth, and when you find these common elements, you realize I think we're all under the same God in many
Absolutely.
ways. What is your thoughts, Rakesh?
My thoughts are that I want to avoid flags, markers that separate people from the other.
Me
You
too.
know, I just don't want to have any markers. That's why I abandoned religion, because I found that myself, I would do the decent thing. That's the way I was brought up.
That's right.
I
Foundation.
don't need the fear of any god to make me do something.
No.
you know, I don't need that fear. Fear is the only thing to be feared.
But you say it in such a way that I can understand it too. We were put into fear to obey our religion, and I don't think religion should be that. I don't think God meant for
It
it to be
should be
that.
about love, not fear. It should be
Right.
about
It
love.
should be, and we should never fear questioning what we're told, just kind of respectfully, right? Don't question in a rebellious way. But you say something about being flagged or labeled. I have a beautiful book on that, and I think I kind of was changing before I read that book. It's a child's book about don't let people label you, right? God loves you no matter what or who you are. Don't let people label you. And I thought it was the most beautiful book I ever read about not being prejudiced. And it really opened my heart. It was almost like I was changing, but it really opened my heart. And I realized that's what it was. You're right, that we flag or we label. And each religion does this, but it's for their own job security, right? And I always say, gosh, nobody,
There's
yeah,
only one God in all religion, and that is Ankit's dollar note.
that's right.
That's the
Oh my God.
there's
Hey,
only
you
one
know what?
God.
Ours says in God we trust. I don't know about yours, but mine says in God we trust. So I
I don't know which one
don't
to
know what
refer
God
to,
it
the
is, but
Hong
it
Kong
says in
dollar
God we
or the
trust.
New Zealand dollar. I don't know which dollar to look at.
But but this one says in God we trust. So so does the penny. The penny says that too. There you go. Does that
Okay.
say in God we trust? I think in America, we're the only place in the world that puts God on our currency.
On the currency, yes.
Uh, don't know why, but we did. I mean, even the penny has "In God We Trust." So, what can you say? But I believe that you're right. I think we're all under one God. It's just a different way of practicing. I always believe that the Bible was a great history book, just like many of the other, but it was written to control man. And actually, my mother-in-law, who is a great, great religious person, I listened to her. She's long gone now, but she even told me one time that one of the kings wrote the Bible in order to control his men. So that's, the King's James, whatever. But it was
Yes, King
totally
James Version.
right,
Yes.
written to control his men a certain way. So every rule, every story, everything was written to control them via religion. And I thought, wow, okay. So I established a different mindset. I love all religions for different reasons. And
But I think we should respect all religion as well. If someone is following a religion, we should respect that as well.
exactly, I do. That's it. I do.
Because
I
because
am
the
not
will be
a
there.
proselytizer for atheism. I just follow my own thing.
I just follow
I
me.
Those who want to
I respect
believe,
everyone. I
Just
respect
like we
what
are
do they want?
discussing that because a lot of people are not respecting the religion as well, and that is what that's why they started blaming that who is good and who is bad and all those things, and that is what we
everyone.
have religious fights and going on.
We have to we have to
Start,
respect
yeah,
them.
Have to realize we're all
yeah.
human beings.
We're all one, but we have to respect each other. And I do. I respect every. If you tell me what religion you are, I'm going to say awesome. I'm going to think that's great because,
Yeah.
in many ways, I'll know that you respect your God, you respect yourself, you respect your family, you
Yeah.
have values. And so but I learned that my values came from a different core, not from the way I was taught or brought up. I still love it. Don't get me wrong. When I walk into a cathedral, I still feel it, but I just stopped feeling the
But I
need.
think that, I also think that due to the fear kind of a thing, a lot of businesses are doing good because we have a fear of dropping out or fear of losing our life or fear of, losing the race or things like that. And that is what created the environment and the world because we are not talking more about strength and we are talking about fear, and that is what happening in Corona as well. Because of fear, people are, pushing themselves down and they are buying a lot of things which they generally don't buy and things like that. So that is what I mean. I
Yeah,
don't know. There should be a
there's
different.
there's a crossover fear, especially if you know you're facing death. And
Yeah.
I've unfortunately and fortunately, I guess I should feel fortunate, have held many people's hands when they were dying, and you hear so many things from them. What I learned from every one of them is just don't have regrets in every decision you make. Make sure you walk out that door today without a regret. Make sure you said I love you to the ones you love, because those are the things I hear from people. I wish I would have said. I wish I would have done. I wish. So just try not to have those regrets. We're living in a very
Uncertain world.
thank you. Yes, uncertain about what's going to happen next. It's almost like walking on the oil rigs to me. You don't know if you're going to get to go home tomorrow, and so I look at that, but I remember a story of someone calling me one time. My uncle, I was very, very close to him, and he would never talk to anyone for any length of time on the phone, but he called and spent about 2 hours with me on the phone before he died. And we talked for a long time, and he said, "You know what, Kim?" He goes, "I know I'm dying, and it won't be long." He said, "But I had an experience just recently," and he goes, "You know how I told you I just never believed in God?" He goes, "I believe in God." He just wanted to share that with me because that was something he always shared with me my whole life. But he was the one who taught me, don't think your religion is the only religion.
Yeah.
He taught me that from day one. He taught me to look at every religion as it was very special. And because of him, I opened my mind. It also made a lot of people shut me out of their lives because in some religions you get shut out if you don't believe in just that. But
And there's one more thing. There's one more thing that when people are in a good mood or in a happy mood, they tend to remember different people. And when they are in a bad mood or when they are in a fear or when they need help, so they have a different line of people lining up. And I don't know why there's a difference because because it's always, I mean, I don't have that much experience like you guys, but I see that when you are in trouble, when you need someone's help, you have a different set of people, and
Yeah.
when you are in a good mood, you have a different set of people. So
It's a question of trust, Ankit.
yeah,
That when you are really in trouble, you go to those you trust.
yeah,
When you want to have a good time, then you're not sure whether what you're doing is right, but you just want to have a good time. So you just seek people who will do this, give you the company in doing that. And it's just
Well,
that,
thank
it's
that
trust
is
versus
believe
enjoyment.
I tell you, I don't want to comment anything, but it happens a lot of time with me. People call me when they are in trouble, but they don't call me in good times. And I feel like I don't know what, I mean, I don't understand the behavior, but I think that I compose myself that I might be a little more stronger and I know how to balance it out. So I said, okay, let it go and focus on your work, basically.
so.
But that keeps
It,
happening every now and then, basically.
it happens
There
to
was
me. It happened. It probably happens to Rakesh too. It happens. It's heartbreaking. It can be very, very heartbreaking. My
And
dad
they
used
think
to
that
tell
we
me
are
to
very
put
strong. We
seatbelt
know how
on.
to manage it out. They think that we are very
accept
strong.
it.
We know how to manage, and we can deal with anything basically.
Just accept it because uh, if you're a friend, there was a competition once, best definition of a friend. And the definition that won the prize was a friend is one who walks in when the world walks out.
Yeah,
You
true.
know, so if
That's
my
good.
sister told me about this, and I was quite impressed with it. So if people they feel comfortable with you, they will trust you. If somewhere I read that they think of you like an old shoe. An old shoe is so comfortable. So if
That's
they think of
perfect.
you as that, then they're your friend. You are their friend. Now, not if you think of the people in your own life, apart from your family who you
Yeah,
have your own relationship with. If you look at the people in your life who you feel that you can say anything to them and they will not judge you, they are the comfortable shoes.
Exactly.
And it's important to be reciprocal. you know you can't any imbalanced relationship will not last.
yeah,
So today, I have two really good friends from school, and I can say my best friend today is my wife. You know, I can tell her anything, and I think that when Meena was talking about it. I was thinking, for relationships, if you're looking at relationships, especially when you're getting married to somebody, you have to think of them as your best friend. If you do that, then you say, do I treat my friend with respect? Would I say this to my friend? If we put people into boxes, this is my wife, this is my husband, and these are my rights, these are my duties, and that is the beginning of your failure
I
of the
love that.
relationship.
I love
You
that.
know,
That's beautiful.
if we just take away those boxes and say, this is the best friend in my world. If the moment you feel angry with this person, even you think this is my spouse, I'm getting angry. Why did she do this? Why did he do this? Then you think, hey, this is your best friend. Do
yeah,
you want to talk to them like that? No. So I learned this from an American boss of mine. I was quite a fearsome boss when I was in the corporate world, and quite I have a strong communication thing. So I used to when I was it was positive and negative. I could tear you to strips too. So I spoke to somebody like that, and this gentleman was my boss. He's an American gentleman, lovely guy, Vietnam veteran, and he called me and said, I spoke to your subordinate, and I had to dig him out of the ground. And he said, why did you speak